Hi, how y'all doing? August the 1st, 2025. Here in Ontario, Canada, the skies are blue with some white clouds. It's starting to be a white, areas of the sky, just white here. Not really clouds, but white, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So, it's supposed to be a clear sky today. At least the bluish gray haze they have had lingering around the trees and everything isn't so heavy today. Yesterday it was really thick, right? And they'll blame it on a wildfire, I'm sure. Schuman yesterday was 24 hours with no data. So it wasn't working, or they're not telling, right? My ears were ringing intense for the last couple of days. I've been sleeping okay, kind of, sort of, tossing and turning a bit. My right foot tried to cramp up in the middle of the night last night. So that bothered me a bit. We're in the first quarter moon phase, which is about action, right? My friend came over yesterday, Tass, and she dropped by a couple times. She was going to the store, so she asked me if I wanted anything, right? And yeah, then she came back later in the afternoon, and we chatted, and she was bored, and she asked me if we should take out the truck for a drive, right? She goes, "When was the last time you drove the truck?" I was like, Monday, and I was, "What's today? Thursday?" She was like, "Yeah, weren't you told that you should be driving it more?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, how about we go for a drive? I'm bored." I was like, "Where are we gonna go? I never drive anywhere because I don't know where to go." And she goes, "Well, let's just go." She goes, "I have a my nephews are in Gravenhurst," she said. "So let's go there so I can see them for a few minutes." So I was like, "Okay." So I drove her to there. She visited. I waited in the truck, right? And she came out, and then we just drove around the area for about an hour or two. Sat behind the park on the main street, chatted for a little bit about weird stuff, and then came home because it was supper time. I was like, "Oh gosh, I gotta go cook dinner," right? So yeah, I didn't have supper at 5 o'clock last night. It was later than that, and that's okay, right? I guess got me out of my comfort zone a little bit, which is okay. It is, right? So I'm gonna title this video "The End Is Near," all right? To work with the algorithm and see what happens, right? Because that's what the algorithm's been pumping out for the last year. You know what I mean? All this Christian stuff and Muslim stuff and Islam stuff and Jewish stuff, right? Religions are all being pumped out on the algorithm because, let's just say that's how much indoctrinated people are in the realm, in every country, all around the world, right? It's all about their God, and all their end prophecies are the same, right? Comes with a Messiah coming back to save y'all, right? So what they don't realize, and everybody, and it's also scaring you of the one world religion and all this. Well, there already is a one world religion. All religions come from the Vatican, right? They are. They do. Do your research. I've watched so many different YouTubers showing the receipts on where this religion came from and that religion came from. And in the Vatican, they have all these other buildings, mosque, a church, and for Christianity, and a Roman Catholic, and all that crap. Buddha monk, all this stuff. That's why the Taliban destroyed the Buddha statues in Afghanistan, right? They were getting rid of the evil, right? The wickedness, the indoctrination. To put your faith in something else and not yourself, right? I watched Chris Bust the List on YouTube last night, travel adventure guy. He was in Afghanistan, and he was talking to this one older gentleman, right, who spoke English very well, and the man broke it down, right? Afghanistan's never attacked anybody, but everybody's been attacking them, and they all get turned away. They all go running like little dogs with a tail between their legs, right? Because the people there won't have anything. to do with any of them. He said, tell your governments, right, to leave us alone. If they want smoke, we'll give them the smoke. But we're not taking actions against anyone. So why you keep on sending people? He says, we like Canadians, the public ones, the people. He says, not the government. We don't like the governments of any country, but we like their people. So if you want to come visit and you're not employed by the government, come on, right? I thought that man was wise. He was a very wise man, right? So yeah, different. I'd like to hear the truth. I do. Uh, what else? Weather engineering's been going on forever. They started with what so-called Nikola Tesla, right? In the 30s, he they admitted that he made an earthquake machine and all this other stuff, right? So yeah, I thought that was interesting. So they made it snow in places that never got snow. They made it rain in places that never got rain, right? It's been going on forever. They keep on saying that about every 20 years they get caught and they say, oh, we quit, we're sorry, we won't do it. And then it's never stopped, has it? So we don't even know what our real weather is supposed to be in the whole realm. Nobody knows because every government's been doing it. All the corporations, right? Because they're not governments, they're corporations. Billionaires with too much money, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. Um, I was driving around with my friend Toss yesterday. Every time we passed a church in my small community, well, there's quite a few, right? I'd be like, she was reading the symbols on buildings and shit like that, right? And she was like, oh, there's another one. She goes, I don't like it, I don't like it. And then we passed the church and I was like, oh, there's a satanic organization. And she goes, yeah, right? I must have said that about 5 or 6 times within a mile. And I was like, wow. And then we passed the Roman Catholic Church and I was like, oh, there's another. That's one of the worst here, right? I said, look at the statues. And she was like, right? So yeah, we had fun just talking and driving, right? Can't say I've seen any birds at all. No animals, except for the canines people walk. My ears are still ringing. Today's Friday. Not sure what I want to do. It's my friend's day off, so she might pop over. It's hard to say. She has a boyfriend, right? And other friends. She told me last night, too, or yesterday, that she has this older woman, that's like in her 70s, right? And I don't care for her. You know what I mean? I met her twice, and this woman doesn't like me, right? I could tell right off the bat. She was so full of prestige, right? And I was like, okay, I'll just be me. And yeah, I told Tass, don't invite me to go somewhere when she's around. She doesn't like me. I've been nice to her, and she just doesn't like me. She goes, yeah, no worries, right? And so I guess she was visiting her, and she said when she left to go to say goodbye, she hugged her and kissed her on the neck. And I was like, ooh, gross, right? I was like, that's what they do, right? Girls that like girls. I don't want to get straight, right? And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, right? I told my son later when I came back, and I said, that's what they do, right? And he was like, yep. And I said, gross. Well, I told him he was like, gross. And I was like, yeah, right? You know? So, weird, right? A 7-year-old woman hitting on a 40-year-old. So, weird. I told my friend, I don't hang around with those people. I had a friend once, and uh, she knew I didn't care to be around those people. And she understood. We traveled around, hitchhiked around and everything. And when we came back, it was about a year later. She went her way, I went my way, right? But a year later, she came up to me when I was working at my grandfather's taxi business and told me she had something to say to me, to tell me. And she didn't want me to be mad at her. And I said, well, just tell me, right? And so she told me that she was bi right? And a couple of things, and I was just like, you lied to me, right? It's my choice whether I want to be your friend or not, right? You hold that back from me, knowing that I don't care to be friends with them, and that goes against my boundaries, right? I get to choose my friends. You don't get to keep things from me and make me your friend. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have never shared the same room with her, got changed in front of her, stuff like that, right? I don't do that in front of a stranger, in front of a man that's not my mate, right? And Tess was like, I get it, I understand, right? So yeah, it really sucks when you get deceived like that, you know? Somebody pretends that there's somebody else just so you like them, you know? But then they have to come out and tell you their true self eventually, don't they? And they just wasted your time and theirs, you know? They brought up drama. So, yeah, my son doesn't feel the same way on the subject, right? Because he's indoctrinated with that at school. They've been pumping out the club, you know, to the children for years and years, right? So many teachers are that way, which is unfortunate because people are allowing their children to be indoctrinated by something that they wouldn't teach their children themselves because it's against their morals. The saying. So yeah, I wrote a couple of things down, but that's it, right? I didn't feel the earthquake that they had in Russia the other day either, so I'm not sure it was a thing. I had no earthquake symptoms at all. Today, my left foot is really tight though. All right, my ears ringing, my root chakra bothering me a bit. My friend Tass said that happened to her when she was depressed. She got pain down there, but I'm not depressed. I know the difference, right? So yeah, not sure what that's about, what energy it is in the realm. And just be nature. Keep on growing, keep on blooming, keep on glowing, right? It was nice being outside yesterday. It was about 24. Today it's supposed to be 23. So we'll see. Maybe I'll go outside again today. I didn't get any weird people bothering me or anything like that. When I go, it's just always perfect for me, pretty much, right? I get the green lights. You know, I don't get stuck in traffic for very long. So yeah, nobody really bothers me because I just go out with the intention of I'm protected. My ancestors are always with me, right? So yeah, see what happens today if they record the Schuman or not. All right. Excuse me. My voice has been doing this weird thing again. It started the last couple of nights. So yeah, every day I'm wiser than the day before. Every day I'm blessed more than the day before. And every day I'm stronger than the day before. I love you all as a consciousness. This is a long weekend for some reason in Canada, Ontario. Okay, I love you all as a consciousness. Enjoy this later day, okay? Okay, bye.